What is the Master Duel tier list looking like? Well, actually, the format changed a little bit now. The Sorcerer, DP, yes, Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer is now here, which means all of those decks that can make Verte Anaconda just got a whole lot more threatening. Quick shout out here to the Magispector Fox Charmer Field Center. Link will be down below so you can pick up your copy today. I'm like 30% of you guys have not smashed the living crap out of that subscribe button. Smash it so we can climb up to 106,000. So we're going to be doing my Master Duel tier list. This is all going to be post-ban list, post-Sword Soul, and like I said, post-DP coming into the game, and we have it lined out tier 1, tier 1.5. I'm a big advocate of like tier 1.5 because it's not quite tier 2, but it's definitely not tier 1. And then tier 3, and then LOL. So starting things off here is going to be Adamantipator. Now, I still want to leave Adamantipator in 1.5, even though they lost one of their special summon guys, and they lost Roxy's, which definitely was a dual-sided consistency hit to this deck. Previously, this deck was a pretty big powerhouse. They still have Block Dragon, Union Carrier, and all those fun things. I think that this deck is exceptionally powerful still, even to this day, and it can still do some pretty amazing things. Altergeist, Multi-Faker's still at 1, right? Until Multi-Faker or something moves on that list, I'm not giving this deck any credit whatsoever. It needs more in order to function. Burning Abyss. Now, this one's an interesting one. So BA still has interesting cards available to it. Farfa is a fantastic card. It can do some pretty big board things. I would say that this is like back end of tier 2, but it's an alright deck. Honestly, yeah. Blue Eyes. I'm still going to put it down here in the LOL tier. The reason for that is until we get that Blue Eyes Jet Dragon and stuff like that will move this up a tier, we're still sitting down here. Code Talker, OTK. Now, this is like U-Link, Cyber Shenanigans. I'm actually going to put this at borderline tier 2. Even though I do think that this deck has some very, very, very good potential, and in itself, I'm still going to put it here because as of right now, it's a very roguish deck, and it can do a lot of competitive things. Cyber Dragons. So we just got what we like to call that good old Cyber structure deck. Oh my god, well, we finally got like all the good stuff that we needed to allow that deck to be rogue. I'm actually going to put it in tier 2, and I know I am wrapping that into this. The deck can hold itself at 1.5, don't get me wrong, but I think for all intents and purposes, we're still settling around here. Danger OTK, this is what? Just Hope Harbinger shenanigans with Dragugolong. Like, that's all that this is. I don't see any reason to elevate this any higher. Oh, look, dinosaurs. Oh. I mean, it's rogue. Like, I don't know what more you want me to tell you. Like, dinosaurs is still a very good and consistent engine. Dragon Link. Previously, I had this at 1.5. I think we're going to leave it on the upper end of 1.5. This deck gets access to DPE now. Might actually push it up into here now that it's got Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer, to be perfectly honest with you. Dragon Maids. Oh my god. Still tier 2. Honestly, I originally had this deck at 1.5 the last time we did this tier list. Now that DPE is here, this is getting shifted down because Destroyer Phoenix Chicken Nugget really, really, really upsets the balance of things. Tritron. Well, they lost Ben 10. Okay. To 1. Ava's still a card. Oh. Well, that's really good. I'm going to put this at 1.5 for now. I will reevaluate this as we form the rest of the tier list. Eldritch. Oh, this deck's like mid-tier 2 now. Conk is at 1, but they still can play Floodgates. Lord of the Heavenly Sky Prison is a heck of a card. Alright? It belongs back here for now. We will reevaluate the stance on this as we form more of the list, just to be sure. Fluffle. I've been pretty consistent saying that this is tier 2. True King of All Calamity still exists in the game. Like, that's all you need to know. Grass decks, man, I'm really loving filling up tier 2 here. Grass decks can steal a game relatively easily. So this is an interesting one. Hero. Now, normally I wouldn't put Hero at 1.5, but the deck's greatest weakness is called Nibiru, the Space Rock. I don't foresee a lot of people playing Space Rock right now in the format. A lot of players that I've seen talk to, and they're like, oh yeah, like, I don't have a reason to, like, play Space Rock. Technically, that should make Heroes a little bit better. But if we're going to put this here, I think we should probably put the Cyverse Structure Deck, Dragon Link Shenanigans, Link Climb potential here as well. Adding Nister, I've had this at 1.5 for a very long time, and I still stand by what I say here. This deck, in the hands of a good player, is a very scary thing. Alright, like, for sure. Infinitrack. People play this? Is this an actual deck? Am I missing something? Like, is this just... If it's Earth Toolbox, then it goes in Tier 2. I'll assume that this is Earth Toolbox. Lunalights. Well, I mean... I don't know about this. If it's pure Lunalights, I mean, you still have good stuff. I'll put it back here in Tier 2 for now and reevaluate. Lyricalist Tri-Brigade, we lost something on the last tier list on, if I remember correctly, for this deck, which really, really hurt. And honestly, does it still matter if we put it at Tier 2? It's still got some consistency about it. I know we lost Fractal. Oh yeah, we did lose a Cobalt Sparrow. Okay. For all intents and purposes, we'll leave it in 1.5. You're like, wow, Robbie, you're filling out 1.5 really, really well. Like, what's going to go in 1? You'll see here in a bit. Madolche. Oh, look, the board breaker of board breaker decks. I think that this deck takes a lot of, like, skill to play, and you need to be a very good player in order to play this. Monarch. This still sits in Tier 3. Numeron OTK. I mean, this deck is still rogue AF. Like, there's no reason why this deck can't still wins. Like, it deserves to be in Tier 2. Pendulum decks. Now, we still have Pendulum or FTK, the whole Starving Venom thing, and I've been very adamant about putting that at 1.5 for most of its life. I think now the Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer's out, yeah, we got some big things with this, but at this point in time, I still am going to leave. I'm going to bump it down to here for further reevaluation. Phantom Knights. How much better did Phantom Knights get? They lost a one whole tin can. Congratulations, you lost a Torn Scales. You gained Verte Anaconda and the you have Rongo Rimini. You have so much stupid stuff you can do with this deck. I still want to leave this up here in 1 because, trust me, once that adventure package comes out, you're going to watch this deck. So many people will be like, ugh. Praying Kids. We lost a single Roxy's. I'm actually going to put this down here. Until we get the adventure package with this, I don't think you're going to see this deck take off. Oh, Pure Zodiac. Oh. You know, I still want to leave this in 1.5. Dryden's still a good card. Salamangrate. I'm still going to leave this in Tier 2. It still makes me cry. Invoked. Is this just Tier 2 or 1.5 still? Like, how much has actually really changed for this deck? Because the answer is it hasn't changed at all. Sky Striker. Oh. Still, I guess we'll put it there. I guess we'll reevaluate here once I fill this up. Spiral. This deck is very much still a Tier 2 deck, in my opinion. Like, a very good player will break boards with this and will do things. Pure Sword Soul. Yeah, Tier 1. This isn't even a question. Pure Sword Soul with the DPE package is good. Is it better than the best variant? No. Is it ahead of some of this other stuff? We'll talk about that. Thunder Dragons. I'm still going to leave this in 2. Trap Tricks. It's just a Rogue Buster deck. We'll put it in 2. Tri-Brigade Zodiac. Is this deck still ahead of some of the rest of the curve? It's acceptable. We'll come back to that in a second. Oh, True Draco. The Anti-Meta Fun Hut. 2. Utopia, I really want to put this deck at 3, but the problem is it's 1-out-of-1 format, which means you can sack people really hard. VW, what did Virtual World really lose on this list? They still have True King of All Calamities. They can still do some really stupid stuff. You know, you lost a Lalo. That's it. Alright, like, hello? Like, how much does that matter? I don't know. Despia, huh. You know, we're going to placehold this down here at 2 for 1 second. Because I want to put Turbo 10 Yi Synchro up here as the best deck right now. We proved in our metagame that this deck was so much further ahead of the rest of the format when this deck dominated in the TCG that it was crazy. And then you had Sword Soul directly behind it. Now, I do want to adjust here, and I want to move Drytron up here. Ava is a heck of a card. I'm going to put that out there. All right. I think in terms of true tier 1 reflective of what the TCG had, these were all very present at the time of these things. Zodiac Tri-Brigade, you got to keep Dryden at this point in time. Congratulations. Like, this deck so much better. VW lost a Lao. Nice meme. All right, like, you haven't... These decks are all Verte Anaconda now, which means we got so much more going for, you know, these 5 that strengthen them so much more. And you'll see here that Sky Striker, well, this is all pre, like, Brave package. Once that Brave package hits, you're going to watch this deck shoot up here. All right, like, this deck goes blump all the way on up there. So I think for now, the thing is, Despia, where it sits right now, you can make an argument and push it up to here if you want. But I think I'm going to leave it as the border for tier 2 to explore. Remember, you still have like Pendulum FTK and things down here. They're all very threatening decks down here in the tier 2 category. And don't get me wrong, any of these decks can probably tighten up here with these, all right? But the thing is, most of these decks all have some sort of dedicated player base. And like I said, you got things that you can adjust. Like, I guess we could put Pure Zodiac down here. Lyricalist Tri-Brigade just feels a little bit behind compared to Tri-Brigade Zodiac in terms of things, because now you have to beat Turbo 10 Yi Synchro, which is literally, you know, Sword Soul Go Burr, the best deck in the room. So that is where we're sitting right now for the May 2022 tier list. What do you think? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you're saying. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. And I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.